Full Big Ten season predictions. Here we go. These are obviously going to be 100% spot on. If you're new here, my name's Gabe. How's it going? Nice to meet you. You may know me from my USC channel called The Trojan Blade, where I cover USC football. I am a USC fan. Am I biased? Absolutely. Am I going to be fair to your favorite team? Also, absolutely. So with these full season predictions, we're going to go 1 through 18, the complete standings. Not going to talk about record, but where everyone's going to finish and in what order. We're going to have MVP. We're going to have Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, and Coach of the Year. So going to be a lot of fun. If you could, please do subscribe. Please do hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Now let's dive straight into these predictions. All right, so let's just talk about the 1 through 18 first. Here it is. Here's the graphic. I can already hear you guys groaning and moaning and getting very mad at me. And that's fine. I have reasons for everything, so hear me out. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. We can talk about it. It's okay. Number 1, I have Ohio State. I think Ohio State is the best team in the Big Ten this year. I'm not as high on Julian Sain as other people are. I think he's in the perfect situation. I think he has elite weapons around him. I think Ryan Day is a phenomenal coach. At the same time, he's very limited in regard to, like, if you compare him to other quarterbacks in the league, like a Jaden Maiava or a Dante Moore or a Damon Williams. He's a very good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I have them number 1 here for a reason. I don't think he's going to be the reason that they're the number 1 team, though. There's other factors with that. Now, the offensive line worries. That's still 100% a thing for Ohio State. But I think they have the talent around that to sort of get away with it. There's a lot of quick passes. Jeremiah Smith can get open downfield so quickly, get a lot of balls to the tight ends. They have options there in that Buckeye offense. They really do. And we know what the defense is going to be now. They're going to be stingy is an understatement. They're going to cause turnovers. They're going to get to the quarterback. They're going to make everything difficult. I think they're the toughest out in the league day in, day out. And that's why I have them number 1. Now, number 2, USC. I know I can hear the collective sigh and annoyance and, oh, you're just a biased USC fan, which, yeah, I am. Full disclosure, that's fair. At the same time, when you look at the teams that pop off in college football, there's a recipe, there's a formula. Experienced veteran quarterback, experienced veteran offensive line, size and strength along the defensive front, and a very good defensive mind calling the plays. Now, do I think Lincoln Riley is the best head coach in the world? No, I don't. I don't think he's a top 10 coach in the country currently, but I think he's the best offensive mind. And I think if you look at it as, yeah, Lincoln Riley's the head coach, sure. Gary Patterson's the head coach of the defense. He just is. Now, whether that can work to win a national championship is a different conversation, one we're not having right now. Lincoln Riley, best offensive mind, head coach of the offense. Gary Patterson, one of the best defensive minds in the sport, at least traditionally. We'll see if that still holds true, but he's calling the defense. He's the head coach of the defense. I like the formula here. I think we have depth. I think we have talent at the wide receiver position that's going to get better and better. I think we have the best running back duo in the country. At least there's not one better than ours. The biggest question is going to be the secondary and the pass defense. And if we can't get to the quarterback, then this is all going to be a wrap anyway. But I do have USC finishing second, going to the Big Ten title game. And if I had to predict, I'd say, because I have USC beating Ohio State in the regular season at the Coliseum, I think we would fall to the Buckeyes in the Big Ten title game if it worked out this way. Number 3 is Oregon. You don't really need me to go in depth of why I have Oregon at 3. I think that's a very reasonable finishing spot for them. They could finish 1, 2, or 3 and then be like, yeah, that makes sense. They got the quarterback, they got the talent, they got the weapons, they got all that stuff. They're likely going to be in the CFP this year again. Will they get blown out by the eventual national champion? We'll see. Very good squad, though, and going to talk about them further when we get into the awards predictions. I got Indiana at 4. I also think Indiana is going to make the playoffs, too. I think the top 4 teams in the Big Ten are going to. I'm a big fan of Josh Hoover. I think he's an incredibly talented guy. We just got to limit the turnovers, man. Cignetti's not going to want to put that ball in harm's way as often as Josh does. So if he can dial that back a little bit, and I think he's going to, he's not going to have as much on his plate at Indiana that he did at TCU, where he was asked to really carry that offense to be the engine. Indiana has a hell of a running game under Coach Sig. That's going to make things easier for Josh. He won't have to try to play hero ball all the time. It's going to free him up, and I think Indiana has a hell of a squad this year. With what they did in the transfer portal, adding Marsh and all those other guys, oh man, yeah, they're going to be a squad this year. Number 5 is Washington. Washington is the most criminally underrated team in the entire Big Ten this year, full stop. Damon Williams, transfer controversy aside, is one of the most talented players in the country, regardless of position. He can single-handedly win you a game. He can single-handedly lose you a game. Which Damon Williams are you going to get on a week in, week out basis? That's the question. That game terrifies me on USC schedule. More than Oregon, more than Ohio State, because Washington's sneaky. You don't expect them to come up and snipe you, and they absolutely can. They have a veteran offensive line. They have an incredibly talented defense and secondary as usual with Washington. Love their tight end group. Jed Fish is one of the most underrated coaches in the entire country. I think he's fantastic. The Huskies are going to be no joke this year, and you can overlook them. You can sleep on them. I think they're going to surprise so many people. That's not a stadium that's fun to play in. It's a long trip for mostly everyone in the entire Big Ten aside from Oregon. I know that works both ways. It's also a long trip for Washington anytime they play on the road, but still, I think they're going to be very good this year. Next up at number 6, I have Michigan. This is because of Kyle Whittingham and nothing more. I'm not a Bryce Underwood believer. I think he's so raw, so far behind. I don't know what we could realistically expect from him this year. I saw him live in the Coliseum last year, and you see the talent sometimes. He rips the ball across the middle of the field, and it's a missile. It comes out, and you're just like, whoa, you could see the smoke on that ball. But he is so lost the majority of the time. And yeah, he was a freshman. He was a young freshman, all that. We get it. That's a very steep hill to climb. But having said that, I'm such a believer in Kyle Whittingham. I saw it firsthand, the way he tortured my Trojans for the last few years there. There were circumstances and things that helped them win those games, but still. Kyle Whittingham is an elite coach, an elite developer of men, of talent. I think he's fantastic. It's weird that he's there. It still doesn't feel real. I don't really think it's going to until we see him on the sideline during that first game. But yeah, I have Michigan at 6. Think they're going to have a really nice season. Number 7, I got Penn State. I'm a big Matt Campbell guy as well. Like Rocco Becht, like what they did, just taking Iowa State and moving it to the East into State College. But as much as they lost, as rough as last year was, it's going to be an adjustment. It's going to be a different team entirely. And that can take a while to gel and click. Having said that, when you look at that schedule, they're going to be undefeated when SC comes into town. And that could be an undefeated versus undefeated whiteout, which whiteout, given the recent story coming out of Penn State, takes on a completely different context, but I digress. But yeah, I have them at 7. I think they're going to have a really nice season overall, but don't think they're ready to make any serious noise in the conference. At number 8, I have Minnesota. And if you've watched any of my previous Big Ten ranking videos, you know what I think about PJ Fleck. He's kind of a cult leader. He's kind of Captain Cringe. He kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I will say he is a pretty good coach. Got a returning quarterback, got a lot of size and experience on the defensive front, and that's a very big deal with how they play. I mean, Anthony Smith on the defensive front is a dude. That guy is just the real deal, and he's going to cause problems every single time they line up. But man, this is a loaded-ass conference, guys. Like, look at the teams ahead of Minnesota, Ohio State, USC, Oregon, Indiana. Like, these are big programs with a lot of money and a lot of talent. So finishing 8th for a program like Minnesota, that's not bad at all. It's really not. But looking at number 9, this might surprise a lot of people. I have Bob Chesney and the UCLA Baby Bruins at number 9. Now, I obviously hate UCLA with a fiery passion. They make me sick. They make me nauseous. Gross. Hate them. Having said that, I think they nailed this hire. I think Nico Iamaleava is one of the most hated on quarterbacks in the country. And I think playing under Deshaun Foster, I think he actually played pretty damn well last year, all things considered. He's incredibly talented. And now he has a stable situation with what I think is a star in the making in Coach Chesney, unfortunately. And finishing at 9th for UCLA would be a massive deal considering what we saw the first few years of them in the Big Ten. But this is a roster that has talent. It's going to be more talented in the years to come with the way they're recruiting, because they're recruiting the hell out of the state of California right now. They're doing a very good job. Why anyone would voluntarily sign up to be a Bruin, I couldn't tell you, but they're getting kids to do it, so kudos to them. But yeah, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think they're going to be a tough out. I think they're going to be sneaky. And it just would not surprise me at all to see them be at the top half of the league at the end of the season. At number 10, we got Wisconsin. As out as I am on Luke Fickell, I'm as equally as high on Colton Joseph. I think he's the real deal. I think he's a very talented quarterback. The best quarterback they've had there, in my opinion, by a country mile since Fickell's been there. It's not a very high bar to clear. And of course, just having a healthy quarterback is going to be the biggest deal. Can Wisconsin escape the injury bug for one season? I don't know what the hell Wisconsin did, what witch doctor they pissed off, because the injuries, especially at the quarterback position, have just been insane. Every single year, down multiple guys, no consistency, no week in, week out starter. And it's just been brutal. And Wisconsin's not a program where even their starters are usually that talented. So when you get into number 2 and number 3, not only are you off a cliff, but you're 100 meters under the ocean. Like, it's not good. So can Colton Joseph stay healthy? That's going to be everything to Wisconsin this year. At number 11, I got Nebraska. I like the pickup of Anthony Calandria. I think they have some nice pieces on this team. I think Matt Rule is just embarrassing, to be honest. I think the whole uniform reveal, that whole event was just one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. And the podcast he does and the way he poses in pictures, he's just a weird dude. The energy around this Nebraska team, it does not feel like Nebraska at all to me. I just don't have faith in him as a coach at all. Honestly, I think them being at 11 here is generous. I think they're going to be looking for a new coach at the end of the year. I'm just not buying into Nebraska at all. I think they'll be fine because, like I'd said, I like their quarterback. I like some of the pieces on this team. I just have so little faith in the head coach. I don't see them finishing any higher than that. Now, at number 12, this is one that's going to be slowly moving up each season as we move on here. But man, Northwestern, David Braun, the money that's coming into this program, Chip Kelly as the OC, Aiden Childs as the quarterback. Very interesting team here. And again, 12 for Northwestern at this stage, I think is a very good finish. It's respectable at least. With the amount of money that's coming in, though, this is just one to watch in a few years. What's Northwestern football going to be in that beautiful new stadium? I mean, this could be one of the up-and-coming programs in the entire sport. Number 13, Illinois. They lost a lot, man. Luke Altmaier was extremely underrated these last few years for Illinois. That's a hell of a quarterback. Saw that firsthand last year, unfortunately. But yeah, they're just replacing a lot. And with this current Big Ten, with the coaches we have, with the rosters we have, finishing 13th can happen. It just can. It doesn't mean that you're a peg down as a program. It's just going to be tough, man. Like, there's a lot of good teams. Look at the teams that are above them. Minnesota has dudes. Penn State has dudes. Wisconsin has a hell of a quarterback, in my opinion. It's just tough. So I have Illinois at 13. This is the year Iowa finally goes off a little bit of a cliff. At some point, it has to happen. The quarterback play is too bad. I know he's proven it and everything, and Kirk Ferentz is one of the most consistent coaches in the country, but it's going to happen at some point. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to miss the playoffs at some point. Are you going to be the one that predicts it? And in this case, I am with Iowa football. If there's one pick on this list where I could end up looking really stupid, it's probably this one. If I'm being completely honest, it's more of a gut feeling for me. I feel like they're just going to have a hard time this year. The quarterback play is going to be just bad enough. Like, it's always bad. It's always really bad. But if they're turning the ball over consistently, if that happens more and that defense is on the field more, and you don't get as many big plays on special teams, you could easily see them losing 2 to 3 more games, thus finishing in the 14th spot. Number 15 is Maryland. I like Malik Washington a lot. That's a talented-ass quarterback. He's not going to be there next year. I'm very surprised he didn't try to transfer out this year. But hey, kudos to him for sticking with Maryland, staying in the Big Ten. Like that courage a lot. Outside of him, Loxley's kind of just whatever as a coach, you know, not a lot to him. Maryland is your quintessential 15 to 18 finishing team in the Big Ten. Cellar dweller. They're lucky we don't do promotion relegation. But yeah, Maryland at 15. Michigan State at 16. Now, love the Pat Fitzgerald hire. Absolutely love it. This is going to be a culture building hire, though, for Michigan State. It's not going to be instantaneous. It's going to take a few years. I mean, I'm still stunned that Jonathan Smith flopped the way he did. I thought Jonathan Smith was going to really turn them around, turn them into Oregon State East. But that didn't happen. And that's very surprising to me. But it's going to take Pat a little while. He's not going to flip the NIL overnight, bring in all these transfers, be a high-flying offense, take the league by storm. No, it's going to be a slow build. The culture will be implemented. His kind of guys will be brought in, and they'll be playing Fitzgerald ball in no time. But for this year, I think a 16th place finish is in the cards. 17 for Rutgers. Again, Rutgers is your quintessential bottom 4 finisher in the Big Ten. Schiano's a pretty good coach, but it's Rutgers. It's going to be hard for them to really compete at the highest level in this league. They're just behind the power curve, and they always will be. And then Purdue at 18. Man, Purdue was brutal last year. By far and away the worst team in the conference, and I think that's going to happen once again. Ryan Brown had some good moments last year at quarterback. Thought he played well against USC for a little bit in that game. But yeah, just with Purdue, I mean, this is the team that's going to finish last, barring something crazy. They're really bad, guys. Like, they're really, really bad. Must be crazy to be a Purdue fan right now when you look at the kind of football that's being played in your state with Indiana, with Notre Dame. That must be hard, so I feel for them. But yeah, I don't see it getting much better this season. All right, that is the 1 through 18. Now let's talk about the MVP of the Big Ten, and I'm going to go with Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver from Ohio State. They feel very slighted that he has not won the Blitnikoff in each of the first 2 years he's been in college football. Mekhi Lemon should have won the award last year, by the way. He was the best receiver in the country. He was the most important guy to his team, all that. But Ohio State is pissed, and they are going to force feed Jeremiah Smith the ball. There's going to be zero doubt who's going to win the Blitnikoff this year. Jeremiah Smith is actually my Heisman pick as well. And I think he's going to win MVP of the Big Ten, obviously. I think his numbers are going to be off the charts. They're going to throw him 15 balls a game if they can. They're going to get him every single award that they have. Yeah, I think he's going to have a monumental kind of season for the Buckeyes. They are pissed about not winning that award. He's pissed about it. He keeps talking about it. With that attitude, with the way Ohio State's viewing it, he's going to have a monster year, and Jeremiah Smith will be your MVP. Now, Offensive Player of the Year, assuming they don't just, give Jeremiah Smith the award just to separate it a little bit. So taking Jeremiah out of the equation, I think that Damon Williams is going to be the Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to carry this Washington team to a very nice season. I think he's going to put up a lot of big numbers. He's going to run the ball. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to make a lot of big plays down the field. I'm very excited to watch Damon Williams. I know a lot of people are starting to hear about him and learn about him. The transfer controversy kind of helped with that, get his name out there. But if you watch West Coast football, you know about Damon Williams. You know what he's capable of. And if he's consistent throughout the course of the entire season and we don't have these lulls, yeah, he'll be the Offensive Player of the Year. He is extremely talented, extremely gifted, and a very creative player. Now, for Defensive Player of the Year, I have Brandon Finney Jr., the corner from Oregon. Don't like Oregon, obviously, but I am a massive fan of this player. I love the way he plays the cornerback position. He puts himself in a position to get his hands on the ball very, very often. Very aggressive, great at jumping routes, very physical and press man. Can also play zone for you. Just a true cover corner who is not afraid to come up and tackle. And really, with this Oregon defense, they're so talented. There's no good place to go with the football if you're the quarterback. So teams are going to have to throw at Finney from time to time. And when they do, he's going to make them pay. I mean, we're looking at what, 6'2", 205, something like that off the top of my head. For me, this is the most talented corner in the country. And when he's playing aggressive and downhill, he can take over a game defensively. And yeah, he's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. Now, Freshman of the Year, I have USC tight end Mark Bowman. So in case you aren't aware, Mark Bowman was the top-rated tight end in the country from Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, originally from the state of Colorado. He is labeled by people that are in the know as a borderline generational tight end prospect. Both as a receiver and a blocker, gets a lot of comparisons to Brock Bowers. And he's going to start at tight end for USC and Lincoln Riley. And when you look at the numbers our tight ends have been producing the last year especially, Jade Maava likes the middle of the field. He likes those big targets. He liked Lake McCree a lot last year. So Mark Bowman, as a true freshman, is going to be producing in the passing game, in the blocking game. He's going to be on the field pretty much every single down, and he's going to be one of the most important players on USC's entire roster. And when you're starting as a true freshman for Lincoln Riley on offense and you're a skill guy, which now tight end's a hybrid, but still, you're going to get that notoriety. You're going to be producing a lot, and Mark Bowman's going to be a household name by the end of the season. So Mark Bowman is your freshman of the year. And as I'm going on, I'm realizing there is a very heavy West Coast lean right now. That was not intentional. And coach of the year, I have Bob Chesney at UCLA. The turnaround, I think, is going to be very, very impressive. Now, they're not going to be one of the best teams in the league this year. We know that. But going from what they were to what I think they're going to be, I think is really going to catch people's attention. Other candidates here could be like Matt Campbell could be coach of the year. If USC finishes second, I think Lincoln Riley is going to get some attention for that, and some noise will be around giving him the award. The day the Big Ten gives Lincoln Riley an award, though, I'll wait and see on that one. I'm not going to be holding my breath. But yeah, guys, those are my entire full 100% spot on Big Ten predictions. Going to be dead on about everything, obviously. Let me know any thoughts you have down below in the comment section. Who would you give your awards to? Make sure to let me know. Really appreciate you guys being here. Please like, please subscribe. You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you next time.